What does successful branding look like in this fast-paced day and age? According to Bernadette Jiwa, the core of it is actually in the story you're telling about yourself. Storytelling is a powerful tool that has been used for centuries by human civilization to pass on traditions and cultures, and also to create and maintain social influence. Stories give us meaning. The story you tell your potential customers about your brand directly influences how that customer will feel about your brand. Due to the rise of technology, brands are competing for the customer's attention more than ever. With shorter attention spans and less time, how can you tell a powerful story that leaves a lasting impact? Your product without a story can be backed up by facts, but it still remains a commodity that is generic and easily replaceable. How can you transform this commodity into a brand that people will recognize and love? How can you provide meaning to your customers? In this book, you will not only get answers to all these questions, you will also get the most important, clear, and precise tips on how to do effective branding. You will learn to adapt to a highly competitive market while keeping your integrity in front of your customers as a thriving business. Are you ready to transform the way you think about your business? This is how you create a good image for your business while gaining and keeping loyal customers. Truth. What business are you in? As a business, what is your truth? Your truth is simply an intersection of understanding between the type of business you are in and what your customers really want. The customers want more than just a product that satisfies their needs. Any generic brand can do that. What your potential loyal customers really want is the emotions and feelings that are attached to the product. It's in the service, the packaging, the marketing, the employees. It is the experience of being part of something bigger. A brand is not only in the product you sell or the service you provide. It must also be in the feelings and experience you provide to the customer. Let's take the example of Procter & Gamble. As ancient as the company is, in 1997, P&G suddenly saw a rise in competition for diaper brands. More specifically, their diaper brand Pampers was not gaining any market share in Europe, while the cheaper brand Huggies was on the rise. P&G just could not figure out why. After all, they gave the customers everything they needed. All the cold, hard facts about the absorption and dryness of Pampers were on their side. Yet, mothers were now suddenly flooding towards Huggies. The innovators at Pampers scrambled to make the product better, more absorption, more comfort, more dryness. Yet, nothing changed. Huggies continued to succeed. Eventually, Jim Stengel, the chief marketing officer of P&G, and his team came to their senses and directly asked the customers what they really wanted. They held surveys, workshops, interviews, everything to figure out what a new mother actually wanted from diapers. The results were finally in. It showed that the mothers didn't want a diaper that absorbs loads of wetness and keeps their baby dry. They wanted the experience of comfort and care. The truth was simply that the mothers wanted to experience love for them and their babies as they shopped for diapers, even if the product would just eventually be soiled and thrown in the bin. The mothers wanted meaning, so P&G gave them their truth. They gave them something that every mother could trust and love. P&G gave mothers the experience of buying diapers while being listened to, helped, and reassured. The brand's truth and story became more about helping mothers than selling dryness. The Pampers website is now full of tips for new mothers. They collaborated with mothers at every stage of their child's development. P&G made different ranges of diapers for different ages. And they finally provided better, more tailored products with better service, creating a loyal customer base and increasing their annual revenue by $10 billion globally. Understanding your own truth, the customer's truth, and what your brand means to your customers is just as important as the product you're selling and the services you provide. Purpose, the reason you exist. Successful businesses care not only about the money, but also their purpose. It is the reason why they started the business, the reason why they exist. It is the grand idea and the passion that starts it all and keeps the business going. Worrying about the bottom line is all good. But it has been proven time and time again that a good growth strategy relies on the one purpose of your business. And this purpose simply has to be more than money. Chasing after money is futile, while chasing after a worthy purpose is what's important. Your purpose can be anything from an ideal that you want to achieve to a service that caters to people's needs. Your work has to be more important than just a means to make money. A good purpose or a reason to exist will give you creativity and a passionate drive that can lead you to success and satisfied customers. Do you want to deliver joy through a warm cup of coffee? Do you want to make all sorts of information accessible to everyone? That is your purpose. Find a unique reason for your business to exist and let it guide you forward. When an adult thinks of Lego, they think of toys for kids, and they think of the incredible pain of stepping on one. Lego has quite a unique story with twists and turns. The company was named Toy of the Century in 2000 by the British Association of Toy Retailers. But the company was going to face a big challenge soon. By the end of 2004, Lego's budget deficit was through the roof, and they had to lay off thousands of employees. Meanwhile, a new CEO joined the business, and his name was Un2known. Within a year, Georgian managed to turn a $3 million excess deficit into a profit of over $110 million. What went wrong? The profit turnover should surely increase as the company funded Legoland theme parks, computer games, and clothing. Why was the business losing so much money? According to Georgian, the one thing that kept bothering him was a simple question. Why does Lego exist? Georgian answered this question by looking into the company's history, trying to find out what made them unique and what went wrong. He concluded that the eventual downfall of Lego happened because, at some point, they lost their unique reason to exist, which was to inspire and cultivate the builders of the future. The company had forgotten to streamline its supply chains. They had forgotten about good customer service, and they had forgotten about their main product. The building blocks of a company can only be as strong as their purpose. Losing that purpose led Lego down that dark path. Thankfully, George and Vig Nudstorp realized their true purpose and values in time to save them. Now their ultimate purpose is to provide tools to children that inspire creativity, develop imagination, and let them release their true potential for a better tomorrow. This rediscovery helped Lego focus on optimizing their operations and decisions, which led to them streamlining their bricks, accessories, and suppliers. It also led to better customer support by making distribution centers closer to their customers. The company revenue eventually rose to $11 billion, and sales grew by 11% in 2011. All of this happened because Lego finally started focusing on what truly mattered, their purpose. Knowing your own purpose and the reason you exist is essential for starting and running a business. It will guide every single decision you make, from company policy to brand strategy. A reason to exist is necessary for a brand to survive. Vision. After you've established your purpose, a vision for your brand will naturally come up. A vision about your brand is your goal. It's a declaration of how you hope and plan to influence the future. A clear vision manifests itself in the way you run your business and the strategy for the brand's future. The brand's vision can also evolve and change as the brand grows. It's important to have a clear destination to guide your business toward. Joe Gebbia and Brian Chesky, two of the co-founders of Airbnb, never really envisioned what would happen when they, all of a sudden, couldn't afford the increased rent at Joe's San Francisco apartment. Fortunately for them, there was an international design conference happening in the city, and all the hotels were full. The two of them put their heads together and came up with a brilliant idea that killed two birds with one stone. It solved their rent problem and the conference accommodations problem. Joe and Brian planned to rent out air mattresses in their living room to strangers that had come to San Francisco to attend the conference. They set up a website in 24 hours and promoted it with the help of some famous designers they emailed. And voila! They had 3 people willing to pay and stay in their living room on the air mattresses. This was the start of Air Bed and Breakfast, or Airbnb. The duo was soon joined by Nathan Blecharczyk, who became a part of the founding team and the platform's head architect. In the past, they only had envisioned hosting accommodation for conferences in the USA. It soon became apparent that this vision was too limiting due to their users. The founders had to think bigger. Their vision had to evolve according to the market and the customer's needs. In the present day, Airbnb can help people look for any type of accommodation for almost any type of need in 192 countries. The company's big vision now is to connect people all over the world in a shared marketplace. It is important to have a vision and destination for your brand or business. But it is just as important not to limit and restrict yourself to that vision. A business's vision can evolve and grow. Content and copy. Many new entrepreneurs tend to have this false perception that any type of content they put out must sound 100% professional all the time. Another false perception is that they must fill their content and copy with professional or academic sounding jargon in order to make customers take them seriously. When implemented, they result in cookie-cutter content and copy that most people do not want to look at. In an age where attention is currency, why would a customer spend time on content and copy that looks like an undergrad's thesis when there is something more exciting and relatable that actually makes them feel something? A brand's content and copy is the brand's greatest line of communication with its customers. It expresses the brand's voice and personality. Dull and professional-sounding content will make the brand look dull and boring. Good content leaves the customer informed yet wanting more, and it gets the conversation going. Imagine this. An attractive, half-naked man talks you through a bunch of surreal scenarios that end with him saying, "I'm on a horse." The chances are that you were immediately reminded of Old Spice. Old Spice has been on this earth for 75 years. They held higher market shares when there wasn't much competition. But as soon as the body wash industry got more crowded, the free market was on the verge of pushing Old Spice out as they started losing market share. The savior of this almost tragic tale was a digital marketing company called Whedon plus Kennedy. They convinced P&G, Old Spice's manufacturer, to market a brand that aimed to motivate women to buy their husbands and boyfriends more masculine scented body wash. They launched a video campaign during the July 2010 Super Bowl called "The Man Your Man Could Smell Like," starring the very attractive actor, Isaiah Mustafa. At the end of the first week, Old Spice had garnered 40 million views. Their website traffic increased by 300%. Within a year, their sales went up to a whopping 107%. That one commercial became a cultural phenomenon. People would post parodies of the campaign on social media, which resulted in more people seeking out the original video. One campaign changed a whole generation's perception of a men's grooming brand and made it memorable. Was this commercial professional sounding? No. Did they include a bunch of jargon about their brand? No. Was it interesting and exciting? Yes. Did it leave the customers wanting more? Yes. Effective content and copywriting have to be exciting and attention-grabbing. It has to be interesting, and it has to leave the customers wanting more. Customer experience. Customer experience is a huge part of every brand story. Customer experience starts from the moment the customer is made aware of your brand to the point where they leave. It can be either online or offline. Customers are looking for stuff to fall in love with. It is your job to give them something that can provide them that satisfaction. The customer should feel good about the brand and themselves when they leave. This is what will distinguish your brand from the others. The brands that customers stay loyal to and talk about are not the brands that provide the best products. It's the brands that provide them a good experience overall. If your customers do not feel good when they leave, they are simply less likely to return. This also provides brands an opportunity to tell their story and provide an experience to the types of customers they want to cater to. Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger, the co-founders of Instagram, faced a big challenge as they arrived on the oversaturated market of photo-sharing apps in October 2010. Despite this, Instagram shot up almost instantly. The reason was pretty simple. They delivered a better user-customer experience than the other apps. The better user experience meant simplicity of design and ease of use. Most importantly, Instagram connected users in a way that gave them an opportunity to tell their own stories and develop their own audience with an app and a phone camera. The founders built the app in a way that it took fewer steps to post, share, and like pictures. A user could take a photograph instantly, upload it to Instagram in a minute, and be flooded with feedback from their audience. Instagram didn't even have to tell a story. Instead, it became a hub of other people's stories, their customers' stories. The story was the app itself and the way it operated, and the users ate it up. Facebook finally bought Instagram in April 2012, only 18 months after its launch. Perception. A brand's position is simply what a customer imagines your story and values to be. A brand's position is something that could be manipulated through advertisements, billboards, and jingles. The aim of manipulating a brand's position was to prevent your brand and its message from being lost in the customer's minds. Positioning is not that simple these days. We live in a heavily digitized and transparent world that provides information to people in the blink of an eye. How are you supposed to create and maintain a brand image in someone's mind without it being challenged 1,000 times over? You simply cannot. What matters now is the customer's perception of your brand that is shaped by more than a simple advertisement or tagline. Brands have to work harder to maintain good relationships with their customers through customer care and services, better products, and better values. Good customer perception is important to maintain their loyalty and advocacy to your brand. Reaching your customers' hearts will help you more in the long run. Simple, affordable, and accessible. This was what Enrico Piaggio, the creator of Vespa, envisioned when he created the vehicle for the post-war Italian population. And that is how it was positioned when Vespa was launched in 1946. What it became is a completely different story. People perceive Vespa as a style statement, a symbol of freedom, and a celebration of Italian style. The world slowly began to associate Vespa with the good life and the romanticized joy of riding a Vespa with the wind in your hair. In Britain, for some people, Vespa became an escape from their working-class roots. It became a status symbol, an accessory that would improve people's own social positionings. In the present day, Vespa riders all around the world celebrate their association and loyalty to the brand by joining Vespa clubs and celebrating World Vespa Day. The Vespa brand continues to be in the hearts and minds of people. This was not the story or position that Enrico wanted to sell. This was what customers wanted to believe because the story they told themselves was closer to their hearts than the story that Enrico tried to tell them. Conclusion. In this book, you learn that brand strategy is more than just about advertising. It is about the story a brand tells its customers every step of the way. You also learn that knowing your truth, sympathizing with your target customers, and giving them a story that makes them feel better will lead them to be more loyal to the brand. You learn that having a higher purpose for your brand is needed for success. You need to determine the reason why your business exists and always remember it as you operate from day to day. You also learn that having a vision guides the way the brand does business and plans for the future. It is always good to keep an open mind to unleash the business's full potential. You learned that professional language might not be suited for building a brand image. Brands need to do a better job in keeping their customers engaged and wanting more. Customers don't want to read professional jargon. They want a brand to make them want the product or service they're selling in an exciting and relatable manner. You also learned that a good overall customer experience is important. It gives brands the opportunity to cater to people that they want to serve. The way a brand makes their customer feel from the first purchase to the moment they leave will determine if a customer returns. Finally, you learn that in this day and age, advertisements and billboards are not enough to position a brand in the customer's minds. It's the customer's perception of a brand that matters because it drives customer loyalty and advocacy. If a brand is not telling a compelling story that touches their customers' hearts, they can't hope to change the customer's perceptions about their brand. Finding your brand's truth, purpose, and vision, building your content, customer experience, and perception may seem daunting at first. But if the co-founders of Airbnb can do it with only $1,000 in their bank accounts, then you can do it too. Keeping your heart in the game, trusting yourself, and not losing sight of your purpose in the long run is bound to set you apart from the rest of the crowd. Don't be afraid to do something meaningful that you truly believe in.